year olds. What in the world do we do with the 5 and 6 year olds? Well, as always, we need to remember what age they are and what they know, and more importantly, maybe what they don't know. So again, I'm Shannon here with Skills for Kids, and today we're going to talk about the 5 and 6 year olds, what kind of a stage they are in, how we can best help them, how we can best keep our own sanity as parents when raising 5 and 6 year olds, so that we see kids that we can all raise. Again, it takes an entire village to raise that family, and we just want to be as much a part of that village as we possibly can for you. So the 5 and 6 year olds, it's almost funny because they're little kids. But because they are not teeny tiny, they're really not seen as toddlers too much anymore. Parents and adults begin to think of them as not little kids. They're older kids. So they should act older and they should be older. Yet they're really not. They're sort of in a unique position. They're in a transition state. Excuse me. They consider themselves big kids now. So they know they are older and they are not little like the 3 and 4 year olds. They can process a little bit more information. They understand our language a little bit better than they did at 3 and 4. And they are beginning to become independent. So they want to make more choices. They want to be independent. Then you catch them, they're really looking back to make sure mom and dad are still right there. So it's still very important to them to have parent and adult approval. They want everybody to be watching them. They want to know that you are right there. However, they do want a little bit of independence for themselves and to be able to make some of these choices. And because they can process and learn information a little bit quicker now and a little bit faster, they will sometimes come across as know-it-alls. They know all the information that there is to know. So sometimes we get very frustrated when we are talking to them. One of the things that we can do in this situation is give them the correct information and make sure our expectations of what they learn and how they express their opinions is done. Because they seem to come across as a know-it-all because they have a bigger vocabulary and they have more words to use to express their opinion. The problem is to do this appropriately. So our expectations of what is appropriate use of your vocabulary and expressing your opinion and what is not appropriate. So our expectations need to be very clear and we need to be very consistent in holding them to those expectations. The 5 and 6 year olds in that transition period especially, they will still have meltdowns. They'll still have just what seems to us to be total breakdowns sometimes. And a lot of it boils around love to be in the spotlight. However, if you notice, everything's not fair. So that's not fair. They cheated. I should have been the winner. So they want to be the winner all the time. So they want the spotlight. They want to be the winner all the time. It's just sort of that sportsmanship. They don't have an appropriate understanding and use of sportsmanship. So they accuse others of cheating all the time. They're mad because they're not the winners. They're just going to quit. So they have these meltdowns. It's our job again to set clear expectations. What is appropriate behavior? What is not? And sort of try to head off some of that behavior ahead of time. Is, hey, you're going to go out. I want you to do the absolute best that you can. I want you to play your hardest. I want you to try your hardest. You may win. And if you do, this is the way that you should express your happiness. Because we don't want to come across as being mean to anybody else or you lost, that sort of thing. Set those expectations. If you're not the winner, it is okay. It doesn't mean you're a loser. It just means you'll have plenty of other times. You go up and congratulate the other person and you go like, man, you did so awesome this time. I'm going to be that awesome next time. So keeping that in mind, combined with when they get nervous or they feel out of their element, 5 and 6 year olds have a tendency to act very, very silly. And it's just a nervous silly. Just because they're not really sure what to do. They're not sure what to express or how to express it. And again, may enter that realm of, it just gives us an opportunity to help them out and help them to learn. Keep in mind that they do not take well to criticism. You know what kids do, right? But the 5 and 6 year olds especially, they don't take really well to criticism. So the more creative we can be about correcting the behavior and making clear our expectations, sometimes just the less stressful that it is. So if we can point out as much positive behavior as possible, and we're constantly praising for the positive behavior, even if it's just the simplest, smallest thing, the poor choices that they make over time become less and less, or maybe they just become less significant because they don't do it quite as many times, or they do it to a less extent, because they know that if they have the positive behavior and we're going to pick that out, we're going to point them out for it, they're going to get their spotlight. But they're getting their spotlight for something really good. So we want to bring out as much of that positive reinforcement as we possibly can for each group. That you have to let them make a choice. And it can be thought about. Meaning that you may not want to say, hey, what do you want for dinner? We're going to have whatever you want for dinner. And they go, McDonald's. And then you're like, no, we're not having McDonald's tonight. I'm guilty of this myself all the time. What do you want for dinner? McDonald's. No, we're not having that, or Wendy's or Arby's or any of that stuff. So maybe if you can think about it and say, if you have thought of a couple of different choices, say, would you rather have chicken sandwiches tonight or grilled chicken? Would you rather have hamburgers, or would you rather have chicken legs? So give them some choices, but make it choices that you're okay with, that you will approve regardless of what they make. And it allows them to begin to learn how to appropriately express their independence. It makes them feel trusted. It makes them feel very important to adults around them. The more important they feel, the more trusted they feel, the more they want to really dig down and live by the clear rules and expectations that have and around the choices that they have. Again, this is nothing that you don't already know as a parent. Hopefully it has just been able to shed some light on why 5 and 6 year olds maybe have the meltdowns and roll around and have bad sportsmanship. And it will offer up some different thoughts for you to be able to deal with that and to appropriately push all of our kids into becoming the best versions of themselves that they can become. If you have any questions, thoughts, comments, you can also send us an email. You can comment below. We would love to have any of your feedback or any of your questions for any other shows. And I do look forward to seeing you again next Tuesday.